Right here on Moss Avenue, a fire burned near the road. One man pulled over to stop and help, and in seconds, his life was over. That man was Steve Brosch, and to this day, his case remains unsolved. It was July 4th, 1993. Odessa was celebrating, but on the 2000 block of Moss Avenue, there was no parade and no laughter, but a fire, and a man who refused to drive past it.
He didn't have to stop. He was a good Samaritan. He stopped to help because the fire was threatening homes that were there on Moss, and he was just that kind of guy. Everybody we talked to back then said, you know, he would have never just driven right by. He would have stopped and done whatever he could, and that's what he was trying to do when this happened.
William and Kim Bishop lived just steps away from where it happened. The fire that Steve Brosch stopped to fight had sparked on their property, threatening their home. But they never expected a stranger's kindness to be met with such tragedy.
Yeah, that poor guy that we didn't know him, but he stopped and he's coming over to try to help put it out, and he got hit by somebody that didn't even want to stop, and the poor guy
all we heard
died.
was a thud, and then the vehicle drove through the smoke so quick you didn't have a chance to really notice what it was. I knew it was a red pickup, but it just kept going.
When we found out he died, our whole, it was like,
it changed our lives.
it will never be the same for the 4th of July anymore, because with that happening like that, it sticks in your mind. It is not going to go away. I hope that they do catch the person that done it.
Steve Brosch tried to put out the flames, but before he could act, he was struck by a red pickup truck and left in the road. The vehicle, witnesses said, had 3 people inside. No one has ever come forward.
Steve was very well recognized in the community through the work and things that he did. And his family's still around, and they need to know what happened. I mean, somebody's gotten away with it for long enough. You know, you've kept this secret for a long time, you know, and it has been kept a secret because we haven't been able to get to anybody.
At the time, investigators reenacted the crash with a look-alike vehicle, a red 1985 to 1987 Chevy pickup with a red toolbox and no headache rack. But there was no suspects, no names, and no closure.
Because there were 3 individuals in that vehicle, we know that there are other people that know that this happened. It was highly publicized back when it happened, so the individuals in the vehicle would have known that Steve died. You know, someone has kept their mouth shut for all this time, for 32 years, and you know, now it's time to step up. There was a family involved.
Steve left behind a wife, and at the time, his 12-year-old son. Their grief has gone unanswered for 32 years.
Steve's wife and son did interview with us, so you saw them. I mean, you saw the pain and the hurt, and it was a tragic accident that is blown up and turned into this. So you know, it's time. They need that closure. Every family needs closure.
And now, a direct message for the person who's kept quiet for decades.
If I was that person, and even though it had been 32 years, that would still be on my conscience. You know, you hit a guy and you know he died, and like I said, there was a lot of news coverage back then.
Roger says that secrets won't stay buried forever.
If you committed a crime and you haven't been caught, that ought to be your worst nightmare, that somebody's going to knock on your door, because I know both agencies have knocked on the doors of people that are 75 plus years old that committed their crimes 30 and 40 years ago, and they're sitting in prison right now. So if you're that person, it'd be a whole lot better for you to step up to the plate and say, hey, I made a mistake when I was young and we need to deal with it, as for one of them to come hunt you down.
For 32 years, this case has sat in silence. The silence does not mean peace. Not for the family, not for the truth, and not for the person who kept on driving. It's time to break that silence. Reporting in Odessa, I'm Gabriela Mesa.